Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to He's Back, a return episode of the Good Leader Podcast. I gotta tell you, it's not really a bone to pick, but I gotta say, I don't know if you all entered the level of enthusiasm needed for the intro, specifically Anj.
I could agree with that.
She's not here to defend herself.
Yeah.
You got to go. You got to be all in.
You got to bring it.
I mean, especially one time she said good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Did y'all catch that?
That first episode.
Yeah, I caught it. I was like, what was that?
Yeah, it felt like we were in the evening show.
Yeah, Delilah, by the way, is who you're trying to think of. Delilah.
That was her. Oh
right?
my God.
I immediately, as soon as you needed me that day.
I did.
You needed me because I immediately, when you were like, oh, that late night. And I was like, Delilah.
Yes.
Delilah.
Queen.
Delilah was
heart.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, how was she so good at like making everyone like her?
She just really gave advice on all different types
But
of.
her likability scale.
Well, her voice.
Off the
really
charts.
just invites you in. I feel
I'm
like
jealous of her voice.
I wanted her to give me
I
a
had
warm
Delilah
hug.
voice. She was great. She is great. And she's still on the air?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. In 2024, I don't listen to a lot of radio.
Right?
Back in 99, 2000 though, every night, Delilah.
Me too.
Then I listened to the top 5 at 9. Okay, hits. That was pretty good.
Okay.
Top 5 at 9 was great. 5 most requested songs of the day. It was a good snapshot of where we were in history. It was good.
I miss radio. You know, I almost was a radio host in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You could do it.
Look at you now.
Yeah. No, and
You're on a podcast.
Now you're a radio host.
I could totally see myself doing it.
Yeah. Spinning those. Well, that reminds me, for the next episode, we're not going to do it today, but this is what we call foreshadowing, okay, in the biz.
Okay.
A little foreshadowing here. I got a new segment, kind of a new segment, a game, really. Gen Z versus the world.
Okay.
Is for the next episode. So
Coming up next up.
Yeah, talking about radio versus podcast, Gen Z versus the world. I think we're going to like it. Today, however, we're going to talk about 3 major lessons that Jared learned from Disney World that you can apply in your business specifically or personal leadership. Because that's where I was. I was on a vacation to Disney. I want to encourage everyone out there, Good Leader Podcast, take time for your family, take your vacation days, take your time off, especially if you are an entrepreneur. You own your own business, you have you have autonomy or control over your time. Often, ironically, those individuals give themselves the least amount of time, in my experience. Yeah. It's like the more control you have over the time, the less you use it. And I would counter that with if you say, oh, I just clock in, I clock out, I get X number of days, it's very deliberate, so here, I'm going to take this day off. So the more autonomy that you have, and for most of you listening, if you subscribe to leadership and if a promotion of sorts gives you more leadership opportunities directly, you're probably then giving yourself less and less time off. Use it. So that's what I did. I mentioned it on the podcast before, but I'm really trying hard to stick to the 3-day system, free day, focus days, and buffer days. I went to a class on it, in fact, last week, and it was really, really good, just doubling down. So that's where we were. We were on vacation. So for you two today, I have a Disney quiz.
All right.
Now, it's kind of a quiz. It's more of we're going to call it the top 11. All right. So I've got the top 11 Disney movies of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes ranking.
All right.
Now, I'm going to give you a choice. All right. Because you all can work together as a team, or you can be mono-e-womano.
Mono-e-womano.
What do you think?
Let's do it.
Do you want to be on a team?
No, he went competitive all the way. He was like, let's do it. Wow.
Competitive is in my top.
Okay, so the way we're going to do it.
It's not mine at all. Okay.
All right, I tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to go back and forth. Then this will be ping pong style.
Okay.
All right, but I'm going to give you a couple of misses. We'll go. We got time. I'll give you 3 strikes and you're out. Okay. So if you get 3 strikes, so you got basically who can stay alive the longest. All right, 3 strikes and you're out. This is the top 11. Now, once again, this is according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
You know what? You've been doing such a great job on the music. Let's cue that new game music. Oh, here we go. All right.
Okay. Disney quiz.
I don't know if this gives me Disney vibes at all, but that's all right. It's not Disney music. It's just the new game music.
Competitive music.
That's competitive music. I like that. All right, here we go. Jess, ladies first, give me a top 11 Disney movie of all time.
Can I ask a clarifying question
You
first?
sure can.
Pixar, right?
Pixar does not count on this, actually.
Really?
There are no Pixar movies in this. So I guess they were very deliberate in saying like Disney animation. I will say this.
So it's more
if
mostly
you give me
2D, right?
Yeah, it's going to be 2D stuff. Okay. If you give me a Pixar movie, I'll say guess again. I'll say, I won't count that as a strike. I'll say guess again.
Okay.
That's a Pixar movie. All right, so Disney movie, go for it.
Cinderella.
Cinderella, she is definitely on the list. Number 4. Great job.
Okay. Lion King.
Lion King. Did I say top 11?
Yeah.
That's number 12. Strike 1. Lion King is number 12. Believe it or not, shocking. Lion King, number 12 with a 92% rating.
Wow.
Who's the 8% hating on Lion King?
I would have thought that's number 1.
That seems crazy. That means 8 people out of 100
Wow.
are not liking Lion King?
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that sound fathomable to you?
You can't please everybody.
Evidently not. Sorry,
I
Simba.
mean, 92 is pretty good, so I can see it.
It's wow. Okay.
It's a dub.
I will say, once you hear some of these others, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be like, Lion King should definitely
Yeah.
be higher than that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, so Jess, give me another one.
I'm going to continue with
You're
the
in the
princess
lead.
route and go Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast coming in at number 10.
Nice.
Jess going for the win.
All right.
Lemuel, it's your guess.
Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, not in the top 11. I don't know where she stands. I got to scroll further.
Wow.
No, Little Mermaid, not in the top 11. Sorry.
Wow.
It's coming in at number 15.
I will say I'm competitive.
15
but,
at 91%. So you see, these are all very close.
Wow.
Okay.
15, 91%. I hope your competitive juices are feeling.
Yeah, I'm competitive, but I'm not confident that I'm going to win.
Well, especially now you got 2 strikes. Jess, what do you got?
What about Mulan?
Mulan, not in the top 11. I'm sorry, strike 1. All right,
okay.
little bit of life there. What do you think? I will say there's some heavy hitters. There's some big time classic movies. Just I don't mean to give hints, but to both of you, some big time classic movies here.
I got one.
What do you got there? What do you got there, Lemuel?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Snow White and the Seven
a good one.
Dwarfs. She is in the top 10, number 5. There you go. That was one of those classics I was giving you. Yes, Jess.
What about Bambi?
Oh, Bambi is a classic. It is a wonderful movie. It
about
is not in the top
okay.
11. I'm sorry. I will say you're on the right track. There's some big movies here. Yeah. Okay, what do you got? And there's one shocker. There's some great movies and one shocker.
I'm thinking of, I think they're
It is a good
Pixar.
movie.
So I'm going to say Toy Story.
That's all Pixar.
Okay, Pixar.
So those don't count.
All right. Aladdin.
Aladdin, number
Ooh, good one.
7.
right.
Excellent guess. Wow. Okay, now the pressure's on. You got 2 strikes, right?
I've got 2.
You've each got 2,
Okay.
I
yeah.
think, right?
Wait,
I think she has 1.
I said Mulan
She's got 1.
And Bambi.
and
Oh,
Bambi.
Yeah, 2 strikes
You're right.
each.
You're
Okay.
right. You're right.
This is it. Wow. This is for the game.
Tarzan.
Not in the top 11. Now, Lim, in fairness, you got to get this right to win. Otherwise, it's going to be a tie.
Bring it.
You
Bring
gotta
it,
get-
brother.
You got to get this right. If you get it right,
Let's
you
go.
win. If you get it, you both strike out, and we'll try again another day. What do you got? Give me one of the top
I'm racking my
11
brain.
Disney animated films of all time, according to Rotten Tomatoes. I will say there are a couple. There's one at least with 100%. There's one with 100%.
100% is crazy.
That is
I think.
crazy.
Like the odds.
Yeah.
My brain, I'm racking my brain.
Well, we're going to give you 5 seconds. 4, 3.
Nemo.
That's Pixar.
Pixar.
Okay.
2,
I'm just trying to,
1.
I can't think. of any-
Strike 3. Jess, you live to fight another day. You tied. Coming in at number 11, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Is
Great
that-
movie. I'm shocked.
That's not Pixar?
Number 11. No,
would have not
Raya's
guessed
definitely animated.
Okay. No, I didn't.
Number 10 was Beauty and the Beast. Number 9, Fantasia. Number
Wow.
8, Dumbo. That was one of the classics.
I was
trying
trying to say Dumbo.
I almost said Fantasia.
Dumbo and Fantasia both would have
Yeah.
counted, and you would have won. Number 6, Moana. Great
Wow.
movie. I love Moana. I think it's underrated.
I was thinking
Well,
more
it's coming in at
classics.
96%.
I haven't seen it. I know.
You'd really like it. It's good.
Yeah.
There's a part that I weep every time.
basically-
it really taps into my spirituality.
I get
The end of the movie. Let me. Have you seen Moana?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, no, I can't talk to you guys about it then.
It's
I don't
okay.
want
I
to spoil
probably
it.
will never watch it.
What? You're hurting my little Disney loving soul.
I mean, I love Disney, but not that much.
Moana's great. All right, number 5 was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Number 4, Cinderella. You got number 3, 101 Dalmatians. Believe it or not, I was
Whoa.
kind of surprised by that.
That's a good one, though.
Number 2, Zootopia. 98%.
I didn't know that was Disney. I thought that was
Oh, no.
DreamWorks.
Definitely Disney.
Wow.
Great. They're making a
Wow.
whole Zootopia land in Animal Kingdom
That's
now.
cute.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cute.
And number 1 with 100%, Pinocchio.
Wow.
Shocker. I don't know why. That is definitely not one of the best.
I will say, I think if you asked people what are your top 10 Disney movies, that list would be completely different.
Yes.
Because it would be Pixar, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Well, Pixar would definitely help it. But if you,
Yeah.
even if you take Pixar, the thing about asking people about their favorite Disney movie
Yeah.
is your age matters.
Yeah, they think about the class.
drastically.
That's why I thought about like Aladdin.
Yeah.
or-
Aladdin's a good answer. Okay, hey, before we get into that was just a fun little Disney trivia. I hope that you enjoyed playing at home. I know that if you're like my children, when they listen to the Good Leader podcast and they're driving home or to ballet class or wherever driving, they are screaming at the car. Like they were yelling Disney movies. I guarantee you, they were just yelling Disney movies over the last 5 minutes, and they're going, I can't believe they haven't said this.
I love
I
them.
hope you too, as you are listening, feel the same way. Jess, do you know what March is?
I do. Actually.
What is it? What is it? Let's hear this.
It's Women's History Month.
It is Women's History
on.
Month. Now, I will say, I'm pretty proud of myself because I didn't call it the Women's Whatever Month like Lemuel did. You know,
Did I say whatever?
I can't remember what you said on last
Yeah,
episode.
so-
It was something like it. It was like, well, it is
Women's
Women's Whatever Month, so I'll let y'all talk.
It's a toss up between history or empowerment. I couldn't think what
like
the word
it's
was.
women's something.
True
Or maybe you said
years.
women's something. Maybe you said women's something.
Women's
month.
something month.
Yeah, well, Women's History Month. And so I'm going to throw out to you before we get into my lessons. Should we go to the break now, or do we want to do the lesson? Because my lessons are quick. I just have 3 quick lessons that I learned from Disney. My Disney trip just blew my mind. And I love it. I love it. So should we do a break now? Or
break.
We could take a break.
All right, let's go to the break.
Introducing Paradigm Shift's Tribal Youth Summit, where one student from every native tribe gathers to ignite change and dive into leadership. It's a dynamic platform empowering tribal youth to network, grow, and positively impact their communities for free. Don't miss this chance to connect, learn, and lead. Nominate a student today at www.ps.company/Tribal Youth Summit.
Excellent. I love it. I'm so excited about the Tribal Youth Summit. If you are connected to a Native American tribe in any shape, form, or fashion, please jump on our website, spread the word, let us know, because we want to reach students all across Indian country. Jess, great job on that commercial.
Thank you.
Said I
Did you hear my
intimidated
last one?
Yeah, it was perfect.
Well, Anj was like, I think Jared just makes you nervous.
I heard
and
that.
I
I
was
heard
like,
that.
I think so too. But I think it's just
I
the
expect
pressure.
greatness. I just expect greatness, Jess.
And I've been getting better.
I do. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Great.
I think we need to give a round of applause.
Excellent. Thank you, live
Thanks.
studio audience. Thank you, everybody in the studio.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's Women's History Month. I want to bring you every week for the next few weeks, Women's History Month. We're going to bring you women leaders that have done great things that you probably don't even know. You've never heard of this person. And the first one I'm going to bring to you, have you ever heard the term, we need to debug this computer or debug this app? You know, you got to debug stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know where that comes from?
I don't.
All right, it's this beautiful lady right here. Her name is Grace Hopper. If you are not following us on YouTube, just where can you see these live action pictures, these demonstrations that I'm holding? Because I'm holding a picture and I've got a rat on my shoulder.
You can catch our live footage of all of our podcasts at youtube.com/Paradigm Shift Leadership.
That's the trick. It's Paradigm Shift Leadership. If you just try to Google up Paradigm Shift on YouTube, you're going to find a lot of videos that are not us. You want Paradigm Shift Leadership. And I do have Remy. He's a great lesson that I learned from. He is on my shoulder. And this is Jocelyn. She's letting me borrow him for the purpose of the podcast and leadership development. But back to debugging. In 1943, in the midst of the Second World War, Grace Hopper felt compelled to enlist, but the 37-year-old associate professor barely made the age cutoff for the Navy. Hopper earned a PhD in mathematics from Yale and was teaching at Vassar, at the time. The Navy assigned her a project at Harvard where she helped program the Mark I, the first computer in the country. This lady's smart. She's doing great things. When a moth shorted out the Mark II, Hopper joked that they had to debug the computer.
Oh my God. It was a real bug.
Literal.
It was a literal bug,
Literal
and
bug.
she said it, and the term stuck.
I love
She just joked like, hey, sorry, we got to debug the computer. Grace,
I love it.
Grace, that's a real knee slapper,
Wow.
and we're keeping it to this day. In 1952, she and her team created the first compiler, which helped translate source code written in one computer language into another. Compilers are now essential to programmers, but at the time, nobody believed that, she said. They told me computers could only be arithmetic. Hopper helped develop the COBOL programming language, and in 1983 was promoted to Rear Admiral. Upon retirement, she was awarded the highest level of distinction for non-combat personnel. At age 79, she was the oldest active duty commissioned officer in the Navy. Hopper loved training young people and gave lectures until she passed away. Her invaluable work helped expand the scope of modern computing. That is today's
What a boss.
great woman in history,
Wow.
Grace Hopper, known as Amazing Grace. In all seriousness, what an impressive lady.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Amazing Grace. I love
Amazing
that.
Grace. Isn't
It's
that
a
great?
cool name.
Our debugger.
And the debugger. That's a great, what a fun
not
story.
gonna
Now you know,
forget it now.
debug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Amazing Grace. Thank you. This women's moment in history has been brought to you by Paradigm Shift. Check out Paradigm Shift for all your leadership training resources and needs. All right, let's talk about Disney. So I go to Disney. I was so fired up. I love it. I'm on the scale of Disney, like I could not care less, to Disney adult. You guys know the term Disney adult?
Nope.
You mentioned it this morning.
It's
A little bit.
people who are really all out. Like they go to Disney by themselves as a married couple. They have Disney everywhere, you know what I'm saying, in their office. And I'm not that.
I think my brother-in-law is kind of like that.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. By the way, this is no
Yeah,
judgment.
yeah,
I'm just
sure.
saying there is a classification of fanatic.
Yeah.
You know, like you are a fan of Disney to the nth degree.
Sure.
Like we've got a friend, they're a couple, and they take every single vacation to Disney. Like if they go as a family, it's
Wow.
Disney. If they want to get a getaway, a romantic getaway, they go to Disney.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, that is not me. I have been, however, about 4 times, which is probably more than the average bear, and we do very much enjoy it. I really love the business side. I geek out on the Imagineering story. My favorite documentary of all time, The Ride of a Lifetime by Michael Iger, is a great business book. He was the CEO of Disney over the last 20 years or so. Great stuff. So I nerd out on that kind of thing. So I would put myself, if it's a scale of 1 to 100, and let's say you got to be in like the top 20% or top 10% to be that crazy, I'm probably like 75, 70 to 75.
You're close.
I'm close, but I'm not going crazy over there. I will, however, purchase the Remy the Rat magnetized shoulder decoration.
What would it take to just send you over the edge?
Well, I don't think I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
Because I don't think I'm gonna get there. I don't know. That's a great question. Like what sends those individuals?
What does
We
it
should
take?
interview somebody. We should find like someone who's all out and just see like, or maybe we could do like a Fanatics series.
Yeah.
Submit your applications.
There you go. PS.company.
Yeah.
Check it out.
/Disney.
Disney. We have, however, I have a huge appreciation for it. So I've got 3 lessons that you can apply to your leadership or your business, specifically business here. Lesson number 1, plussing your business. Plussing. Now I know that's weird, but I got that. That is a phrase that Walt Disney himself coined. He said that we are always going to be plussing. What's really cool is Disney himself talked about the impact that their movies had. And while he loved them and knew that they were timeless, he said, but he called them pictures, when that picture goes public, we're done with it. I can't change it. I can't evolve it anymore. If I have a new idea that I'd like to add to it, I can't do it. He said, with Disneyland, we will never stop. We will always be in what he coined plussing the park. And he said, and I love that because I always, you want to find out how to get better and grow and learn. So always be plussing. When I went to Disney this time, they have plussed it in so many ways. There are some new rides, incredible stuff. The new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, holy smokes. Jess, are you a roller coaster girl?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, awesome. Lim, roller coaster boy?
Yes.
Roller coaster boy.
It sounds like an Avril Lavigne song.
Only metal roller coasters though.
Only metal, not the wooden? You don't like
No.
the clinkety clink
Hurts
of the
my back.
hurts your back?
Hurts my back.
Oh, come on, the Texas Giant. Get on that Texas Giant.
Ain't gonna ride one again.
Well, Disney, the attractions are absolutely phenomenal. The Guardians of the Galaxy ride is the best ride I've ever been on in my life.
Wow.
And I have been on giant roller coasters. I've been to, oh my goodness, what's the one in Ohio? Cedar Point? I've been to Cedar Point in Ohio. I've ridden all of those big roller
What
coasters.
about it was like the big.
Okay. So what's great is it's an actual roller coaster. It's indoors, but Disney doesn't have the biggest, fastest roller coasters.
Right.
Their rides, however, are immersive. And so this kind of leads into the point. The way that they have plussed is by taking something, innovating, but instead of just thinking bigger, faster, stronger, which is where I think we often as business leaders default. We don't do it consciously, but I think we do it by default. In other words, if you say, hey, we got to get better. Okay, well, let's do more.
Right.
Saying like, if we want to improve our marketing, well, let's do more commercials. Oh, okay, hey, we want to improve our podcast. Well, what if we release more podcasts?
Right.
What if we do, different, what if we interview? What if we do, like, okay, well, yes, you could change up in those ways, or you could take a step back and think of what is really plussing. And that's why I like the term plussing.
What are
It's
you
like,
doing that you can do better?
Yes, that we can make an improvement or we can change this experience. That's why I love and we'll do an entire episode on innovation because I'm so fascinated because sometimes the best innovation is actually not creating something new, but it's just doing something differently.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this isn't even a new product. This is just like, I think of that. What's the little sponge that has the face on it? We've got one in the office.
Scrub Daddy.
Scrub Daddy.
Or-
How genius.
Scrub Mommy.
Have you guys-
And they did Scrub Mommies.
Oh, I didn't.
And then they did Scrub
Babies.
Yeah, like they
Oh,
have.
my word.
They've plussed
Genius.
it.
Do they have
Well-
scrub doggies?
They
What?
should.
They should.
Scrub dog is.
Dog.
Clean your dog.
Got that dog in him.
Oh.
Well, the Scrub Daddy is a great example of innovation because it's a sponge.
Yeah.
It's a sponge, right? Like
Yeah.
like there is. I mean, I'm sure that there's some patented something.
It's pretty heavy
but
duty, but like,
it's
yeah.
pretty. It's a sponge with a face in it.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is how innovative that is. Okay, so creativity then is not just like, okay, sit here and think of something that no one has ever done before, ever crossed. No, it's like, actually, what can we do and change it slightly? So to answer that was a long-winded way to say what they did with, number one is they took the Guardians of the Galaxy. They do a great job of something people already love. So if you were taking this, how do I plus? Think of the things that your customers, clients, partners already love about you. Like, especially from a business sense, if they're working with you already, they obviously like something. So what do they like about you? Is it it might be your price. It might be your product. It might be the way your customer service, whatever it is. Think of, they really like this. So we as a society have liked Guardians of the Galaxy. Of all the Marvel characters, intellectual property, Guardians of the Galaxy, pretty high, pretty high likability scale. or what am I? Approval rating. That's what I'm trying to say. Pretty high approval rating. So they took that property and themed the ride around it. And oh my goodness. So it's a roller coaster. It's not that fast, but every single car rotates left and right individually.
Wow.
So as you're going on the roller coaster, like you take a turn, you're not just going on a roller coaster like in one single line. Your car, so it feels like a spaceship. So
Wow.
it feels like, oh, we are banking this turn. And the entire indoors, so it's an indoor coaster, is a screen.
Okay.
So everything around you is a screen. So you're basically in a movie.
Wow.
And they've set up a story. And this is also the plussing. Never underestimate the power of storytelling, no matter what your business is. What story are we telling? What story do we want our people to be immersed in? What story do we want them to tell when they walk out of here? So you're in this story, the Cosmic Rewind, and you're in this roller coaster, and it is fantastic. And the last bit, and probably the best point on plussing, you know what really takes it over the top?
Let's hear it.
I'm ready.
You know what? Would you like to try to guess? It's a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. It's a roller coaster. It's indoors.
It
and
smells
this
good.
one thing. No, I like that guess. No, but I like where you're going there. This
Smell
one
was a
thing,
good guess.
Jess. And it's really for you. It's up your alley. You're going to love this answer.
I don't know. What is it?
The music.
Okay. I figured you were
It's
gonna say-
Guardians. And if you're familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy, music, especially old tunes, are a huge part of the subculture. And so, like, it was playing Disco Inferno the whole time. You know, burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, as you're going through the whole thing.
Nice.
Now, what's
Fun.
cool is there are 5 different songs, so you never know what song you're going to get. So you could get a
fun.
different song the next time you ride. But just that little element adds to it. So that's my number one. Wherever you are right now, it's not just rest. It's certainly not resting on your laurels. That's not plussing at all. But it's also not thinking we got to radically change
Yeah,
something.
it's not about scale.
It's not about scale, and it's not about like, we got to get crazy creative. Just plus. What can we do a little bit better? How can we plus this thing?
Incremental.
Absolutely. How can we take this? And it's Atomic Habits, 1% better. Number 2, surprise and delight. Now, I'm taking that language from Mr. Chick-fil-A over there because he
Yeah.
uses surprise and delight. That's what Chick-fil-A uses, right?
Yep.
You were a Chick-fil-A boy, right?
I was, yes.
All right. Were you, you know what? Spot on, by the way. Like if you put in a computer and said, you know, like on the Santa Claus, when the Santa Claus, like when he clones himself, and it's like, if we had a computer where it's like, we need a Chick-fil-A, the perfect Chick-fil-A employee. What do we need? We need 1 part Christianity. We need 2 parts nice. We need
Service.
1 part service oriented. We need 1 part. Lemuel would pop out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at him.
Absolutely.
I think that's a compliment.
It is.
Where's that round of applause button at?
Yeah, hit
Oh,
that.
man. Here we go. Stand by.
I'm not even kidding. You are the most Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
Wow.
the most perfect Chick-fil-A employee
You were raised
I
right.
may have ever seen.
Wow. Great. That's great. Good
That's
for
good.
me.
That's good. Kyle Price, a close second.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
Truly.
So, Chick-fil-A uses the surprise and delight, right? I want to give credit where credit's due. That's part of their training. That's part of their whole ethos of surprise and delight. Disney, I saw it in one of the best moments ever. And I love this because you can do this in your leadership, your business right now today. We were in Epcot. We'd ridden all these rides. We'd had a great time. We'd done all the stuff, and we are walking out of the park. And if you've been in Epcot, you walk out by Spaceship Earth. And basically, for the biggest stretch of your walk out to the parking lot, it's just a lot of shops. You're passing by Spaceship Earth and a lot of shops. And so it's not like you're just walking out, especially at the end of the day. We're tired. We're done. We are just walking out. And I hear, woo! 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 Like that intermittent cheering.
Surprise and delight.
I don't know. I was like, what is that? Like, it's not a ride. It's not, I don't see, there are no performers around. And as we are going through this tunnel, basically to leave, I see 2 Disney employees. Now, presumably they're from the store. So they were standing in front of this store. Their job in the store wasn't very busy. So it seemed like, well, we're just kind of standing around right here. So they had stepped out in front and they had put a square, about a 2x2 square of masking tape on the sidewalk. And as people were leaving, if someone stepped into the tape, they cheered. They hooped and hollered, woo!
Who came up with that?
And then as soon as they would step out, they stopped. Like that. That's why it was, woo! Yeah! Like, just like that. They're hooping and
That
hollering.
is silly. And I
It
love
was
it.
silly. It was random, and it surprised me.
I love that.
And it delighted me.
Yeah.
Seriously, it did the two. It literally, I was surprised. Like, I didn't expect that. And as I was walking out, it was great. Everybody who walked by, whether they stepped in it or not, it put a smile on everybody's face.
So a lot of people were trying to step in it then, right?
Well, you know what's crazy is no one was messing with them. Like I'm sure they did throughout the day or something, but there was no like, woo, woo. But what's crazy is they would have done it. Like they were as soon.
Yeah.
It was great. It was phenomenal. And
That's
here's
so
the thing.
fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Let's think of that. It was so fun. What's something that you can do in your leadership right now that people would say, well, that was so fun. It probably wouldn't even cost you anything. Maybe it might cost you a little bit if you say, well, let's grab ice cream together. Like something we used to do is we used to have random movie days. And we haven't done that a whole lot, but it was funny talking about movies. It's funny, we've been in business long enough now and our culture has evolved over time that people will suggest something to me that we used to do. It was hilarious.
And it's like a bright idea.
Yeah, I'm like, we actually have done that. Like
Already
today, like today, Swink was like, oh man, we should take like a retreat on a cruise. I was like, oh, we did that. He's like, no way. I was like, yeah, 2017. He's like, what? Oh man. So, and we used to go to movies and do things like that. And whatever it is though, just thinking of ways that you can surprise and delight your team. And it won't be, so let's just take that exact example. You could do that literal example in your office. Mm-hmm. Put a tape on the floor, ask people to come in, cheer for them.
Yeah.
You know, great, do it. And not everybody's going to step in that spot, which makes it kind of surprising, delighting, you know, things like that. Once again, it's your culture. You pick it, but I would do it.
Yeah.
You're making a frowning face. You don't like that one?
No, I frown. This is just my face. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
RBF.
all right.
My bad.
Ribbif.
Ribbif.
You're just a roof, resting frowning face. I wouldn't go so far.
I got
as
that
to
dog
say,
in me.
Yeah. Got that dog. All right. Number 3. And we're out of here. Scarcity isn't bad. Scarcity isn't bad. Especially if you are an entrepreneur, business owner, you're out there, and even just a leader in any sort. Often we try to be all things to all people. And even if we narrow that down and we say, no, this is who we are as a leader, this is who we are as a company, this is who we're trying to serve, we try to be there all the time at the expense. But scarcity is not a bad thing. What I mean by that is I'm wearing this Remy, the Ratatouille, on my shoulder. It's a little magnetized stuffed animal. It's great. I actually did a keynote with it the other day. I loved it. I wore it the whole time. It was lots of fun. I'm very excited to share it with you all. But that aside, guess where we bought this?
Disney.
More specifically. You are totally correct, by the way. We bought it at Disney World.
Okay. In a specific store?
Yeah, you couldn't get it everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So was it like specific to the movie, to Ratatouille?
Yep.
There's a Ratatouille store.
There's a new Ratatouille ride in Epcot.
Cute.
In France, you know, because Epcot has the World Showcase.
Right.
So the Ratatouille ride is in France. You can only get this at the France gift shop, which is very cool. It made it really, because we were in Magic Kingdom.
Exclusive.
We saw some people walking around with this on. Jocelyn was like, Daddy, I would really love to have that. It was the number. I told them all our kids, you get to pick one souvenir. You can take us up on it at any time. Here's your budget. You can one souvenir, but that's it.
Yeah.
Once we're done, we're done. So she's like, that's what I want. That's it. I was like, okay. So I'm looking around Magic Kingdom. I'm asking, oh, no, you have to get that at Epcot. Whoa, okay. All right. So then I'm in Epcot. Hey, I'm looking for you have to get that in France. Oh, okay. Wow. So I love that scarcity isn't bad. Final thought. Every day we left Disney, not doing all of it. And that is phenomenal. If you watch the Disney Imagineers story, they talk about one mistake they made in some of their smaller parks through the 90s and early 2000s, like California Adventure. When they first opened it up, it was way too small, especially compared to Disney. And they designed it that way on purpose, but then realized that is a mistake. People don't want to come and be able to do everything in 3 or 4 hours. Mm-hmm. We want subconsciously to come and go, oh, there's so much to do. And I missed out. Oh, I missed out. And that makes you want to come back. And that makes you think about it, you know? And so even now, there are a couple of new rides that you have to get on a virtual queue. You have to try at 7 a.m. to get on in your app. Like Cosmic, the Guardians, you have to get on at 7 a.m. to get on the virtual line. I happened to get in number 3, group 3. Wow. That was amazing. The other ride, Tron, brand new ride, I totally missed out. So I didn't even get to ride it.
And you're heartbroken.
I am.
And you want to go
back.
But
I'm not mad, but I'm just like, I missed out. Crap, I guess I'm ready to go back.
Yeah.
So those are my lessons from Disney. Hey, thank you all for holding down the fort where I was gone. You did a phenomenal job.
We tried to, and we definitely missed you. It's not beautiful. The same without you, but we did have our fun while we could.
I will say the cat was away and the mice kind of played. I could feel it a little bit.
Sorry.
Biggest thing though is we'll have to coach up Anj. A little more pep in that intro next time.
She said, "Good afternoon, good morning, good evening."
I'm so fired up.
I've never been this fired up.
This is me fired up.
Well, whether you are a Disney fan, fanatic, Disney adult, crazy, or you don't like them at all, we can learn something from them. So hopefully these lessons have helped you put them into practice and be a good leader. Thank you, Grace, for giving us the bug.
Thanks, Grace.